Hello and welcome back to Beauty Bee. Today we are doing the third video in my recent ranking series, and today we're going to be looking at my lip products, specifically the ones that I have purchased since I made my first ranking my lip products video, which I believe was back in September. I will have that linked above as well as in the description box if you're interested. But it turns out I've bought a lot of lipstick since then. I've had 18 lipsticks come in the last 6 months. Actually, I've had 19 because I finished one in the meantime. Anyway, as usual, we're going to work from worst to best, but this time I think we're actually going to start with 3 lipsticks that I don't feel I've used enough to really form an opinion on. This first one I actually haven't worn at all. This is from Mcgrath. It is a mini. It came in a set. The other 2 in the set I have used quite a bit. This is the shade Elson 2. It is a matte red with some pink to it. There's a swatch of that color. It sort of looks like what I'm wearing today, which is actually why I haven't worn this on my lips yet, because I'm trying to pan the lipstick that I'm wearing today. Another one, I have worn this only once. This is from Melt, and it is their liquid lipstick in Rebound. Again, I have worn this, but it's only been one time. I don't feel like I really have strong opinions developed yet, but it is a very pretty color, and it is a little bit different than anything else I own. And then somehow my newest lipstick, which is this NYX lipstick in Dirty Talk. I have used this twice, even though I got it yesterday. It's a very pretty color. It's a berry with quite a bit of purple to it. Stains my lips like no other though. I was wearing this topped with a little bit of the red we're going to be talking about in a couple minutes for most of the day, and my lips are bright pink underneath this, just straight up fuchsia, and not in a terribly nice way either. However, it does look so pretty in the swatch, so I might have to get past the stain. With those 3 lipsticks out of the way, we can get to the other 15 that I have added since my last video. I do want to just put my standard disclaimer out there. I actually do like all of these. I did a somewhat thorough declutter about a month and a half ago at this point, so a lot of those things went through that declutter and survived it. I've also just been doing, I think, a really good job of picking items that I will like and I will use to bring into my collection. I don't know that I've been doing as good of a job with the quantity of items that I've been bringing in, but the actual items themselves, individually, I have tended to really like. The first lip product I have to talk about is from Pixi. This is their Sheer Rose lip gloss, and I think that the color on this is pretty. It's a sheer nude with a little bit of a rose tint to it. The reason that this is so low is that it's so minty. I don't really like the mint taste or scent. It's not offensive, but it's definitely not something I would choose. And it does feel a little bit tingly on the lips. I don't think it actually does anything, and it's certainly not painful, but you can feel it on there. But it is pretty, and I'm glad that this is a mini. I got this through Pixi, and I will definitely use this up. Next up, we have my Bite Red lipstick. This is in the shade Negroni. It's what I'm wearing today. This is a creamy, bright red with some pink to it. As mentioned, it's pretty similar to the Mcgrath lipstick that we were just talking about, though this is definitely a bit more on the creamy side. This is just not very easy to wear. I mean, the color is fine. I do think that over the course of the day, I wish that it went a little bit more tomato red, like a lipstick we're going to talk about in a few minutes. This tends to go down to a bit more bright pink. I also find that the formula is a little bit too creamy for its own good. I find that I will end up with red lipstick right here, and it gets on my teeth quite easily, which isn't a problem that I usually run into with other products. So that's not appreciated. I am actually working on panning this. I like it enough to use it up. I don't like it enough to repurchase it or want to replace it once it's gone. But here is how much I have left. I will link that panning video down below. And I have already made a mess. I think that the NYX lipstick is to blame for that, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure that I will make a much bigger mess going forward though. Okay, next up we have the e.l.f. Rider Guy Lip Balm. This is in the shade Just Peachy, I believe. Yes. And it is a squeezy tube lip balm. I like this. I like the way it smells. I like the way it has a little bit of a taste to it, and that's also very pleasant. This does not smell like peach. It smells like fake peach candy, and I really enjoy that. The thing that I don't love about this particular product is just the level of pigmentation. It is more pigmented than I want it to be for the format. I mean, that really does show up, and I end up wearing it largely just around the house because it is hard to control. When it is outside my lip line, it is very obvious, and I don't like the way that looks. And unfortunately for me, this is one of the lighter shades, and the clear shade that they have is mint, and I don't want a mint lip balm. So it's nice. It does feel really good on the lips. It feels good for my lips after I take it off. My lips do feel hydrated. It does stick around for a long period of time, but I found myself using this more as a lip mask and less as the easy go-to glossy balm that I wanted it to be. Everything from this point on is very, very pretty. The next item that we have is the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. This is in the shade Delightful, and it is a delightful color. I will give it that. It is this soft purpley mauve, and it looks really pretty when first applied. This feels really nice on the lips. The packaging is cute, and there's a little heart in the bullet, which, big fan. The only problem that I have with this lipstick is that the lasting power is not there at all. Okay, we were talking about the Hydrating Core Lip Shine. The color on this is pretty. It looks really nice when I first apply it, but the lasting power is abysmal. Now, obviously, this is essentially a tinted lip balm. I don't expect it to last all day or through eating or anything like that. However, I do expect it to stick around on the inner part of my lip for more than 5 minutes. I can put this on and then I will notice within 20 minutes that it has moved largely to the outer portion of my lip, and there is noticeably less product on the inner part of my lip, which I've never had things move quite that quickly before. And while I do really like this product, that is a definite downside, and I don't think that I would purchase others in the range because of it. This is a lipstick that I have in my project pan this year. This is from Revlon, and it is one of their super lustrous lipsticks. This is in the shade Secret Club, and it is this bright pink. This is quite wearable. It's pretty, it's everyday. It's just not quite spot on the color that I wanted it to be, I have owned, I think, 4 different sort of everyday mauve to pink shades from this line before, and this is definitely my least favorite of the 4. However, I've only owned this for about 6 months and I've used up half the tube. So it's definitely something that I reach for. It's definitely something that I enjoy. It's just my least favorite of these 4 more nude Revlon lipsticks that I've ever owned. Speaking of wearable everyday lipsticks, we have this e.l.f. lipstick duo. This is one of their day to night duos, and this is in Need It Nudes. It is a lip duo. The lipsticks are sort of mini size, but not a tiny mini. Let me just swatch the 2 of them. The reason that this is ranking down here is that it's just not as cool toned as I hoped it would be. These are both very peachy, and while they are pretty different from anything else that I own, and I think that's great and makes them very usable, they're just not the shade that I really hoped they would be. However, they're beautiful. I see myself getting quite a bit of use out of them, and I think it is more than likely that I will eventually pan at least one side of this, if not both. The next product is again from e.l.f. This is just their retractable lip liner. This is in the shade Red because the naming department was really being an overachiever that day. This is ranked here not because it's bad at all. It's super useful. I find myself reaching for it quite a bit. It's just not that exciting. I mean, yeah, it's not exciting, and everything beyond this point really does excite me. This is just a utilitarian product for me. We've already talked about how I think everything else is exciting, so I will try to keep my gushing to a minimum. Next up, we have another Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick. This is in the shade Cherries in the Snow, which is a classic. I really love this color. It is a bright fuchsia pink with quite a bit of red to it, and it's beautiful. I can wear this sheared out as sort of a popsicle tint. I can put it all over the lips full on, and it looks very glamorous. It's a really beautiful lipstick, and I can see why Revlon has kept this around for something like 65 years. It's beautiful. The next product is the highest ranking of my tinted lip balms. This one is from Nars, and it is the Mini of Laguna. This is the birthday gift for the year. It is a sheer brown, and it feels really nice. It looks really pretty. It's just not super impactful. Also, I had a sample of Orgasm in the same format, and I liked that one a lot more, though this is really lovely, and it ranks really high because of that. I think that if I did have that Orgasm lipstick, it would probably be in my top 3 or so, at least. The next product is the last lip gloss we're going to talk about. This is from Beauty For Real. It is another mini lip gloss that I got from Pixi, and this is in the shade Nudist. It is a peachy nude. Like the Pixi gloss that we talked about earlier, this does have a little bit of mintiness to it, but it's much lighter than the Pixi, and it doesn't bother me at all. The color on this is very pretty. I like the level of sheerness that it has. I feel that it really does layer nicely over pretty much any of my nude lipsticks, which was the whole reason I purchased this. It has just the right amount of color to look really good on bare lips. You can tell that there is something there that's beyond a clear gloss, but it's not hard to wear. You don't need to worry about it traveling outside the lip line. Overall, this is just a really pretty product, and one that I'm really glad I was able to pick up through Ipsy. Landing just outside the top 5, we have this Dior lipstick in the shade Nude Look. The formula on this is stunning, and I do like the color quite a bit. I'm not sure that I love the color. Certainly when, not if, when I pan this, I am not going to repurchase this particular shade, but the packaging is beautiful, the formula is beautiful, and I'm really happy with the color. This is one of the matte lipsticks. It is not the most matte lipstick I've ever encountered, but it is mostly matte and it's quite comfortable. I really have no complaints with this lipstick. I think it is overall really lovely. It's just the other items that are past this, I would consider repurchasing or repurchasing very similar products to once I used up. This I would be okay without. I've become a fancy lady in the last few months. We're moving from Dior to Pat McGrath. This is another one of the mini lipsticks that I got in that trio from Pat McGrath. This is the shade Softcore. It is a cool tone, somewhat light nude, though it is definitely a little bit deeper on me. This is definitely deeper than my natural lip color. This is just a cool color, both in tone and the way that it makes me look and feel. I feel like a cool kid in class wearing this, and I really enjoy that. I think it's lovely. I think it works well with my complexion, and yeah, the cool factor is difficult to overstate the importance of. The next lipstick is another brown. This is from Bite. This is the shade Sazerac. This is the lipstick that turned me on to browns. I love how this has a bit of a mauve-y undertone to it. I think it makes it a lot more wearable for me than the other browns that I had tried over the years, which tended to have a little bit of a peach undertone. I can get into peach lipsticks, but this is just a lot more flattering on me. It looks very interesting, and this is a great shade, especially for fall and winter. I feel like with a sweater, this just looks and feels cozy, and I really enjoy that. Also, this is the shade Añejo. I don't know if I actually said that earlier. It's a really nice shade. Highly recommend. The third of the Pat McGrath lipsticks, we are moving to this beautiful deep pink. This is the shade Executive Realness. I think I'm gonna just swatch it over here. Now this is definitely a type or a tone of lipstick that I really enjoy. I feel like in the swatch it's looking sort of like a deep nude, and it does pull like that on the lips. It is a really stunning color. It seems to work with my undertones really well. It looks on the lips like the perfect midpoint between a fuchsia pink, a nude, and a red. That doesn't sound like a color that exists, but I do think that 3 different people who were looking at me wearing this lipstick could all come to a different conclusion. Oh, that's a nude. Oh, that's a red. Or oh, that's a pink. It's really lovely. 2 more to go. Next up, we have the last of the super lustrous lipsticks from Revlon. This is the shade Sassy Mauve. It is beautiful. This is such an easy, everyday nude mauve for me. It's gorgeous. I feel like this goes with pretty much anything. I feel like this is a lipstick that I can wear with the great majority of my outfits. Maybe if I'm going for a really warm top, this is something that I would decide against, but I don't have a lot of clothes that fit under that category, and this is the kind of lipstick that I would keep in my bag or in my desk if I was actually going anywhere these days to touch up for pretty much every day. It's beautiful, super easy to wear, For comparison, there is the Secret Club lipstick that we were talking about earlier. You can tell that this is more bright and more pink than Sassy Mauve is, and Sassy Mauve is definitely my preferred shade of the two. And then my top favorite lipstick that I've purchased recently, and I think also just in general, is the Dior 999 lipstick. This is gorgeous. It is pretty much a true red. I find that over the course of the day though, this turns into a little bit more of a tomato red than a really fuchsia pink red, which I prefer. Also, the formula on this is amazing. First of all, it looks great. It goes on beautifully. It smells nice. These Dior lipsticks smell really good. And I don't know what it is they're meant to smell like, but I appreciate it. This is a satin formula. It does have a little bit of shine to it, but this stays in place remarkably well. I think I've shared this story before, but I wore this without a lip liner on Christmas. And I mean, it was Christmas, so of course I was eating more than I should. I was talking to people. I was just not paying attention to my lipstick, but I looked at it after several hours of wear, and while it didn't look perfect, it had worn so gracefully. There was still product everywhere on my lips. The color had faded down, but had not disappeared from any spots, and it had stayed within my lip line. And that is incredible. I am so happy with this. It will hurt my heart when I eventually pan this, and I don't want to say that I will repurchase it, but I think I probably will, at least the refill. I think you get like a $7 or $8 discount if you get the refill bullet instead of the actual full item, and it's lovely. I am completely infatuated with it, and I'm really, really pleased that I got this through Influencer. It's definitely not something that I ever would have thought to purchase. And there's my lip product ranking. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about the individual products, you can of course ask. I will also link any videos that I've done reviewing any of these products. I think the only one that I would have is the review of these Bite crayons, but I will do a double check and see if there's reviews for anything else. I really enjoy all of these products, and I would love to know what types of lip products you've been loving recently, and if you have any recommendations. I really should not be buying any lip products for quite a while, as I'm sure we can all see based on this video, but I am always curious to know what other people are into. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to next time. Bye!